What's up, fight fans? We're going back to Gaza, and we're bringing a badass main event to the people of Palestine and Israel. In the main event, we got Bilal Muhammad defending his welterweight title against up-and-comer lightweight, moving up to the 170-pound division, Natan Levy. This is a badass fight. Winner gets the hostages. You do not want to miss this one. This is high stakes, high action, an explosive matchup. You don't want to miss this fight. Okay, now that I got this video taken down, let's keep talking and hope that it's not taken down. In this video, I'm going to be providing one main event per division that the UFC needs to go back to a certain country with. So I've got I've got 8 different countries, 8 different weight classes, of course, and every single weight class I'm going to be saying which country they need to go to, and I'm going to be matchmaking a main event appropriately. I hope you guys enjoyed my little Dana White impression in the intro. I've been working on that one, getting a little bit better. But yeah, let's get into it, starting with flyweight, going to heavyweight. Yeah, let me know your picks in the comments. Like, subscribe, follow my Instagram, Left Lane MMA. And yeah, let's get into the video. To start off, flyweight division, UFC Japan needs to happen. I don't know when the fuck the last time they went there was, but it's been a while. And right now, you've got a top 5 flyweight who's about to fight the number 1 ranked dude, Tatsuro Taira. And then you've got Kaya Sakura, who by all accounts and basically is like 95% not confirmed, but like assumed amongst the fan base, Kaya Sakura is going to be making his debut against Pantoja for the belt. Now, if Asakura wins that fight and Taira beats Royval, then you already know what's going to happen. This shit's going to be a co-main event in Las Vegas. But what it should be is a fight night main event or pay-per-view main event if they stack the card in Japan, in Tokyo, in Nagasaki, whatever, in Hiroshima. I'm not sure. But this fight needs to go to Japan. They need to... Okay, look, if Asakura loses, you could just do Taira versus anyone in the main event. You could just do Taira versus Pantoja. You do Asakura versus Pantoja. Pantoja wins, you do fuck it. Sucks to suck, Pantoja. You gotta go fight this dude in his home country when you're the champion. That's skill issue. I'm so tired for this, you guys. I don't want to go to Japan. I don't know what I'm doing. But Taira versus Asakura would be an amazing fight. Even if, let's say, Taira loses to Royval and Asakura loses to Pantoja, you can still do this as a fight night main event in Japan, still be sick, but I think it just has a bit of extra zoom on it, a bit of extra pizzazz. If there's a belt on the line, would be sick. Yeah, UFC needs to go to Japan, but again, I'm not going to put any of these. You guys might wonder later on, you might say, why have you not put a UFC Africa? Because Dana White's just basically made it very clear that even as much as he says, we're looking at locations. What's the question? Africa? Yeah, we're looking at locations in Africa. Does South Africa count? We're going to go on to Egypt, guys. Like as close to the Middle East as possible so that they can just get oil money. I don't think they're going to do an Africa card. Nothing to do with this, by the way. These two are fucking Japanese. There's no African flyweights. I mean, Manel Cap, I guess. But, yeah, do this fight. Asakura versus Taira would be an incredible matchup. Look, some people might say you don't want to do the Japanese. First Japanese might as well have them in their own fights. And I'm kind of looking at, like, schedule here because... Look, if I had it my way, I'd say, yeah, sure. Do Pantoja versus Asakura in the main. Do Taira versus Royval in the co-main. But they've already booked Taira for Royval in the Apex for whatever reason. And I assume they might have to save 307. They might have to just pull out a last-ditch effort and then do Pantoja Asakura as that main event. In which case, Taira would be fighting a week after, so that would be really good for him. And then timelines would match up. So yeah, Japan... UFC Japan, UFC Tokyo, early 2025, first quarter of 2025, or maybe like mid-2025. That's the ideal scenario. This fight needs to happen. Let's move on, though, to the next division, bantamweight. UFC Brazil. Now, look, I know we're not a big fan of the Brazil cards because a lot of the time the crowds are dead. They boo. They leave. If their fighters are getting whooped, they cope a lot. Almost as much as MMA Guru, you could say. Now I'm going to piss off some of his 13-year-old fans, sorry. But UFC Rio, UFC Brazil, UFC Sao Paulo, whatever. Davison Figueiredo versus Jose Aldo Jr. This fight needs to be made, in my opinion. Now look, Again, is this the next fight to make right now? Like, no, Aldo's booked for whatever reason. Dana White, what are you doing? Matchmakers, why are you booking Aldo against Bautista? Like, if you want to give Aldo a layup, there's easier fucking ways of doing it. And if you want him to lose, then, like, why? I don't know why you want him to lose. I guess they're just trying to build a prospect and trying to get some guys in the top 15 that are up and coming with the name Jose Aldo on their resume with a win next to it. I hate that matchup. I think Aldo's going to win still because he's going to stuff his takedowns, and Bautista lost to like Damon Blackshear on the feet for a round. He's not that good on the feet. He's a bit more of a grab. Actually, to be fair, no, he did kind of whoop up Simone, so maybe that's a dumb statement. But Aldo, I still think is going to whoop him. And then after that, Figueiredo just beat Chito Vera. Arguably should be fighting Peter Yan. I wouldn't mind if that fight gets made. But if they don't have a Figueiredo fight booked by the time Aldo fights and hopefully beats Bautista, that's the next fight to make. They're going to go to the press conference and be like, so Dana White, Jose Aldo had a really impressive win tonight. He's 2-0 since his return. He's beaten like 6 fucking guys in the top 15. So what do you reckon he'll do next? And Dana's like, what's the question? Jose Aldo? Yeah, Peyton Talbot. That's the fight we're looking to do. Or some shit like that. Yeah, Chris Gutierrez. Like, what are they doing with Aldo? I don't know why they're matchmaking the way they are. Martinez as the return was cool. Like, I mean, he was always going to win that fight. If you picked Martinez, you're dumb. Bautista a little bit more challenging, I think, stylistically, just because, like, Martinez pure striker. Like, there's no chance, unless you're Peter Yan, you're not, or like O'Malley, you're not going to beat Aldo in a pure striking match. But Figueiredo fight would be sick. I would pick Aldo to win. Obviously, he's a bit bigger than Figgy. It would be crazy to think, like, the former featherweight champion fighting the former lightweight champion at bantamweight. It's one of those ones where you're like, oh, pound for pound, who would have won this? But then it actually kind of fucking happens because they both just meet in the middle. But yeah, this will be a sick fight. Honestly, UFC Brazil doesn't deserve this shit. Brazil doesn't deserve this, but Aldo in Brazil is electric. And the one time that the crowd isn't just a bunch of fucking retards and booing and throwing drinks at people is when Aldo fights. And if you want to make it as little chance as possible that they start throwing beers at people, then put another Brazilian in. So even though they probably prefer Aldo to win, at least if Figgy wins, the fans aren't going to just have a fucking riot. They might be a bit pissed off at Figgy, but yeah, this will be a sick fight. UFC Brazil, make it happen. Let's move on though to the next division, the featherweight division. Hey, Dana, former Mexican here, a former Mexican. You say former? Well, what's the question? Former Mexican? How the hell does that work? So you were Mexican, but now you're not. But anyway, Mexico. Look, the crowd there last time, the event there last time was alright. It was solid. But Dana White is he's doing this fear card, right? We got Diego Lopez fighting Ortega. I think Lopez is going to win. I think a lot of people that are being like, oh, but look, Dan Ige beat him in the 3rd round. Like, yeah, Dan Ige is a better striker than Brian Ortega. Sorry, that's true. Like, Ortega's not that good at striking. Yeah, you spinning elbowed Korean Zombie once and knocked out fucking Frankie Edgar or whatever. Like, does that make you an elite striker? No. His defense is just getting hit in the face. But anyway, I think Lopez is going to crack his chin, finish him, or maybe just win the first 2 rounds based on damage. I don't see Ortega finishing Lopez. If you're going to tell me that Ortega's got a better chance of finishing a tired-ish Lopez on the feet than Ige, I just don't buy it. But regardless, if he wins that fight, arguably should be like getting like a title shot or like a Volkanovski or like a loser of Ilya Holloway kind of fight. But it just doesn't seem like they would do that fight. It seems like they kind of reserve that class for themselves. Maybe they do a Volk fight, but I would say, even though Yair doesn't deserve it, because he just lost to Ortega, and that's why it would be a bit questionable, my hypothesis or my suggestion is we book Yair against like Arnold Allen. I'm throwing my AirPods case around right now, sorry. Fucking ADHD for you. But yeah, they should book like Yair versus like an Arnold Allen or a winner of Aljo Movzar or something like that. And if he gets to win there, which I think both of those are terrible. I think Movzar beats him. I think Aljo probably beats him. Although he could get finished on the feet. And then I think what's his name? Allen is just a bit of a better all-round fighter. But if Yair gets another win in the meantime, this is not a fight that needs to be made immediately. Obviously, we already know Lopez is booked. Even if Lopez loses to Ortega, and if it's not like an embarrassing loss, if it's just a close fight that Ortega edges out, you could still justify this fight, or just give like Lopez one more. But yeah, UFC Fight Night Mexico, unless they get a Mexican champion, they're not gonna, apart from Grasso, because that's not enough for a pay-per-view main event. Fight Night main event-wise, Lopez versus Yair is about as good as you're going to get. Like, they're probably hoping for, like, Rosas and, like, Zellhuber and Torres and these kind of guys to come up through the rankings. I think that's what's going to be the sphere card. And then we're going to get all the fucking former Mexicans going to the thing and just trying to sound Spanish. Like, the chicks that will, like, talk in the most, like, basic accent possible. And then you'll ask them what ethnicity they are. Yeah, Hispanic, you know, like, I don't fucking know. But, yeah, that's what's going to happen. They're all going to go to the press conference and be like, Dana, what do you think of Manuel Eloco Torres' performance? What do you think of Daniel Zellhuber? Like, they're just going to ask him all these questions about the Mexicans. Dana was like, what's the question? Zellhuber? Torres? Yeah, I like those kids. They're really good. We're looking to take them to a Mexico card. Like, Dana will, assuming a lot of the Mexicans win, he'll go to the press conference and be like, yeah, well, we're going to Mexico. He'll probably, like, announce, like, Mexico for, like, next year. We're like, yep, definitely looking to get back there. And a fight on main event-wise, Yair versus Lopez is 6. So yeah, enough yapping. This video is gonna go way longer than it needs to. But anyway, I'm pretty hyped up with these matchups. These are sick fights that I've made. But let's move on to the lightweight division. Unfortunately for lightweight, I did not do Abdul Karim El Salwadi versus Natan Levy, although that is a fantastic UFC Gaza main event. Explosive fight right there. But, look, my second option is not much better. Yes, I am taking advantage of global conflicts to make an interesting fight. Armenia and Azerbaijan. Now, if you don't know what's going on there, I mean, I don't really know too much either. I just know they have beef because I've got a mate who's half Armenian. He won't shut the fuck up about it. Keeps talking about how Armenia founded Christianity. Like, I'm like, bro, shut up. You're not even Armenian. It's not even a real country. It just got let go by Russia. And I just, like, I didn't even fucking know the history there, but I just say that to piss him off. And he hates Azerbaijan. He actually bet that Gaethje would beat Fiziev solely for he didn't even fucking know who Fiziev was. He's a casual. He just was like, oh, he's Azerbaijani, I'll bet against him. So that's a little story for you guys. But yeah, Azerbaijan and Armenia, safe to say, not sitting down for dinner together. So yes, let's take advantage of global conflicts. Let's do a fight that's never going to be able to happen in the location that I want it to. Because I don't think Armenia or Azerbaijan even fucking has, like, facilities to host a UFC event. Dana's definitely, like, reported, Dana, when are we going to Armenia, Azerbaijan? When can we go to the Caucasus area? And Dana, what's the question? Armenia? No. We're looking to go strictly UK twice a year, Paris, Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is the new fight capital of the world. I love Abu Dhabi almost as much as I love John Jones. And Australia, and that's about it, guys. So yeah, no UFC Armenia. That's a stupid question. Anyone else got any other stupid questions for me? Like, how do you even do that? It's completely impractical. But by the way, you know what's not impractical? Is John Jones versus Stipe Miocic, because John Jones is the best ever. I love the Dana White impression. I'm actually getting pretty good at it. Yes or no in the chat. Or yes or no in the comments. But yeah, UFC Armenia / Azerbaijan, Fiziev versus Sarukian. I don't think I even fucking I don't think I even said the names of the fighters, but you can see them on screen anyway. Yeah, UFC Azerbaijan Armenia, and then do this fight. If you want to be slightly less risky and avoid the global conflicts, you could wait for a Georgian lightweight to it. Like, you could try and get Garam ranked and then do Garam versus one of them. But unfortunately, sorry, Weasel, Garam is not a future top 5 fighter. I hate to break it to you. But, yeah, Fiziev versus Sarukian. Again, this is not the next fight to make. This is like a extreme looking forward into the future. Arman loses to Islam. Fiziev wins his comeback fight against probably Dariush. And then you matchmake that fight. Because right now, Fiziev technically come off 2 losses. I don't think many people really view the Gamrot fight as a definitive loss. But yeah, if Arman loses to Islam, they're not going to be in any hurry to get him back. You're not going to be like, all right, Arman, you lost. How about we give you Justin Gaethje? That's not going to happen. I could actually see this fight happening, but it just definitely won't happen in fucking Azerbaijan or Armenia where there's drone strikes and shit. But anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, UFC needs to go back to a fucking Dublin. Best believe that, yourself, fucking Ian Gary is a little bit of a cook, but he's a good main event for return to Dublin. Dana, best believe that. We gotta fucking make this happen. But Leon Edwards versus Ian Gary, the cuck Chardo. If you're asking for a Leon Edwards impression, Ian Gary, bruv, you're a fucking cock, bruv. I fucking head kicked you in the gym. Headshot dead, bruv. Also, you fucking empty your pockets, bruv. Best. I don't know. What ends you from, bruv? That's my Leon Edwards impression. My impression's a bit poor. I've focused in on I put all my points into the Dana White impression and I lost out on all the other ones. But UFC Dublin needs to happen. I would have said England, but I've already got another fight coming later on for England. You can probably guess who it is. But yeah, this is a sick fight for Dublin. Dana's been yapping saying he's going to go back to Dublin. They got to make it happen. It won't happen this year. Probably Ian Gary fights one more time. Probably against fucking, I don't know. Against this nutritionist is maybe the fight to make. As a badass fight, ladies and gentlemen. Ian Gary versus the nutritionist. Winner gets a turn with Layla tonight. But yeah, make this fight happen 2025, do a fight in Dublin. Because I feel like now, look, when they had two champions, yeah, you can easily do you can do Leon in March, Aspinall in July or some shit like that. And then they can just fight in between. But like with, now you only got Aspinall, you only got one champion. You can probably do one fight under your one pay-per-view. You don't need to go to a place twice a year for pay-per-views with you when you have one champion. I feel like that's a bit yeah. But yeah, do this fight in Dublin, in Ireland. Ian Gary will probably still get booed. Yeah, let's move on to the next fight. Again, this one's looking ahead to the future a little bit, and this is multiple possible options. Because look, if Izzy, Jizzy, Dogbender, if he beats Dricus, the real African, Duplessis, and then Whittaker beats Hamzat, then you can make this fight happen as a pay-per-view main event in either Australia or New Zealand. If Izzy loses to Dricus and Whittaker beats Hamzat, you could do this as a fight night main event in Australia, New Zealand. And I know people might say, why would Whittaker fight Izzy if he beats Hamzat? And if Izzy loses. The only reason I say that is because I just don't think, even though Whittaker would still deserve a title shot, he'd be coming off 3 wins, but what's it called? I don't think the UFC is going to do the Dricus fight. I doubt they would do Whittaker versus Dricus. It just doesn't seem like something they would do. I think they're more likely, if Whittaker beats Hamzat, they're more likely to run back Strickland versus Dricus than Whittaker versus Dricus. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. If Hamzat wins and Whittaker loses, if Whittaker loses and Izzy lose, you can still do it as a fight night main event. If Izzy wins, Whittaker loses, then it's kind of off the table. But we need to bring back just ridiculously stacked, well, not stacked, but pay-per-view, co-main event, pay-per-view main event worthy. You need to bring back fights, for fight night main events that could main event a pay-per-view if it had a belt on the line. And this could probably main event a pay-per-view regardless. But Izzy versus Whittaker, I still think there needs to be a bit of closure. I'm still very up in the air about who I would pick to win a trilogy. Obviously, I do think Whittaker won the second fight. Very close, but I think he edged it out 3-2. Of course, Izzy got that 4-1 scorecard as his entire title defense reign goes. Just clear 48-47s, and then every time, or a close fight, debatable split decision, and then you always got to chuck in a 49-46 Izzy. But same with Jones as well. But also, yeah, this fight would just be sick. I still think it needs closure. Back to the scene of the crime, if you will. Would Whittaker do the same? I think it would. I think as a fight night main event, I honestly give Whittaker a better chance. Not, obviously the physical aspect of it's the same, but, mentally, I feel like he'd be a little bit less stressed out, put a bit less pressure on himself if this fight was not for a belt. Because I think the build-up to that first one, and he said it himself, he was in his own head, he was trying to, he was, angry, he was anxious, whatever. He didn't perform at his best. Rematch looked great. So I think in a trilogy, with how he's been looking recently, and how Izzy's been looking a bit mid recently, I could definitely see Whittaker getting it done. So yeah, make this fight happen. UFC Australia, New Zealand fight night. I'm all for the pay-per-views. I love the pay-per-views. If they want to do this as a pay-per-view headliner, sick. I'm not going to complain. But yeah, a lot of these fights that I'm proposing are fight night main events. Let's move on to the light heavyweight division. Heavyweight, we need to go back to Europe, somewhere that isn't either UK or France. Can we go back to fucking Poland, or I don't even know if they've been, but the Czech Republic. We need to go back to Eastern Europe, and go to these countries. I know Poland's not fully Eastern Europe, but you know what I mean. Go back to these fucking countries. UFC Poland, bro. We got Gamrot, we got Blachowicz, we got I don't know who else. But like, yeah, Blachowicz versus Yuri, bro. The light heavyweight division is basically fucking 20th century Europe, bro. We got the whole fucking communist bloc. The fucking, I don't know, what's the fucking name? Yugoslavia. We got fucking Czechoslovakia. We got all of these cunts. We got all these fucking empires going on in the UFC light heavyweight division, bro. We got Ankalaev. We got Yuri. We got Blachowicz. We got Ozdemir. We got all these fucking guys. Krylov, like, the entire division is all just fucking Europeans, basically, apart from Pereira and, like, Hill. But yeah, this division is sick in terms of, like, the potential for cool main events. Like, you're telling me, like, Gushkov and someone, like, you got Mirzakhanov as well. There's so many guys. And you're telling me you can't do a fucking main event in Europe? Fuck out of here. So, yeah, Blachowicz versus Yuri is the one I think was the best. A couple other options. You could do, like, a Krylov versus Gushkov main event. You could do an Azamat versus Krylov. You could do a Azamat versus Gushkov. You could do a fucking Rakic versus Yuri. You could do rematch, I guess. You could do Rakic versus Blachowicz rematch. You could do so many fights. Rakic versus Krylov, Rakic versus Gushkov, Rakic versus Mirzakhanov. There's so many fucking Europe on Europe fights that you could make, and you could do it literally anywhere in Europe that's not England or fucking. You could do Ozdemir versus someone as well. Like, you could basically match up like the entire top 15 of the division, apart from like 4 guys, and just do it on a fucking fight night in Europe. Like, that'd be sick. Tell me you don't want to see that. That'd be awesome. So yeah, make this happen. UFC Poland, UFC Czechoslovakia, whatever, Prague. I know it's not really called Czechoslovakia anymore. Who cares? Yeah, UFC Prague, UFC Warsaw, any of these fucking places. UFC fucking Kiev, get Krylov in the main event. Yeah, make it happen. Do this in Europe, fight night main event. This would be sick. Pure striking battle as well, pretty much. Let's move on, though, to the last division. No, this is not good matchup for me. I must wait for title shot. Cyril, we're giving you a title shot. No, stop Espinol. This is a difficult fight for me. I sit on couch and film movie. I don't know. But in terms of like a European matchup, England versus France, you know this shit would be massive. And I know we don't like Cyril Gane just getting one win and then fighting for the belt. But if he beats Volkov, that's why I'm saying you wait. Hopefully Jones doesn't be a bitch and continue to be a bitch and retire after he beats a fucking 50-year-old retired firefighter. Not even a retired firefighter. He's a full-time firefighter, basically, part-time fighter. Fought less recently than Conor McGregor. That's an actual statistic. But yeah, if Jones chickens out after that, continues to be a duck, continues to just quack away, then you wait and you do Aspinall versus the winner of Gane Volkov, and then you do it in England, because you don't want to, like, if Gane somehow talks his way into a fucking main eventing Paris against Aspinall when he's the challenger, fucking don't know what the hell how's that gonna happen, but yeah, they should do this in England. Would be a massive main event. Like, Aspinall vs Blades, co-main was sick. Leon main event was cool. Leon Usman last time. Like, they've had some cool main events, but like, heavyweights, Aspinall versus Gane, especially if Gane goes out there, looks good against Volkov, you can't tell me this wouldn't be a massive fight. Dana, when are we going back to the UK? I'm about to go into but I'm glad you asked. No, Dana was just like, what's the question? The UK? You're talking about Tom Aspinall? Look, Aspinall doesn't deserve anything. Aspinall's still got work to do. Dana, he's literally beat half the top 10. Yeah, but John Jones only beat Cyril Gane. Yeah, but just when you think about John Jones, John Jones, like, what the fuck? Dana White, chill. But he's literally calling me as we speak. This is Dana White on the call. This is not me talking. Dana White's like, the thing about John Jones is, let me tell you something about John. Nobody beats their wife like John Jones. Nobody fails PED tests like John Jones. It's like, Dana, you just pulled a signed autograph Dustin Poirier card. Yeah, but look at this John Jones common card that I just pulled from this pack. Think about John Jones. It's pound for pound number 1 guy. Fuck no. Edit that out. But anyway, yeah, this shit's cool. This will be a massive main event, and it will be a good way to quickly get any lingering like, oh, but Jones, it would be a very quick way, and that's why it's not going to happen, because it would very quickly get rid of the like, oh, what about John Jones is still better than these guys? Like, no, he's not. So yeah, if you do this fight and just get so much hype in Europe, this shit would sell out immediately. You could main event a fucking 50,000 seat stadium with this. You already know it sells out. But yeah, let's move on. That's the end of the video. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's move on. Hope you guys enjoyed. I yapped a lot. We're back to the old habits, back to the yapping. But yeah, let me know in the comments what fight. I'll do a part 2 eventually. But let me know. I could do a part 2 with like more fights per division, and you guys can give some suggestions, and I'll bring back more Dana White impressions. Dana, when are we going back to Auschwitz? What's the question? Auschwitz? Yeah, Natan Levy is main eventing Auschwitz against who's he fighting against? Abbas Magomedov. Yeah, it's a badass fight. Hopefully Natan Levy doesn't gas out, just like his ancestors. That's what I'm saying. We need to bring back base Dana White. No, but let me know in the comments what fight night main events you want to see the UFC return to countries with. I'll probably do a part 2 down the road. Yeah, there's fuck all to talk about. I'm not doing a prediction video for fucking Tabora versus Spivak. Knowing the UFC, that shit's that's gonna main event the trilogy. If Spivak wins, they're gonna do a trilogy and main event the UFC's first ever card in Moldova. That's what they're doing. But anyway, that's the end of the video, guys. Enough yapping. Peace out. Got more videos coming soon. I don't really. Give me ideas in the comments. I'm running out of ideas. But yeah, peace out, guys. See ya.